Ladies and gentlemen, the man who raised Jared Monty, Paul Monty. Please come up.
I drive your truck, I roll every window down, and I burn up every back road in this town. I find the beat, tear it up till all the pain.
It was late on a summer evening, around the cusp of the autumnal equinox. A father was seen leaving a hospital. He had a grin on his face. It stretched from ear to ear. And as he walked, you could see him pump his fist. I have a boy. I have a son. I have a boy. He got in his vehicle to drive home. And at that moment, he began to think, what do I want my boy to be like? What characteristics do I want him to have? What values should I instill in him? Certainly, I want him to be brave, courageous, tough. I want him to be the star on the football team, the baseball team, and the basketball team. I will teach him how to do that. I want him to be kind, though, and compassionate and caring of others. And I will teach him that. And as the boy grew, the father remembered that. And he did his best to instill those values, those characteristics into his son. He noticed that his boy, whatever sport he was involved in, whatever activities, would never give up, ever, no matter what the score was. And he was proud. He noticed that his boy always went out and tried his hardest, that nothing else mattered, but that he gave everything he had to what he was doing. And he was proud. He noticed that his boy always tried to do the right thing. Not the easiest thing, not the acceptable thing, but the right thing. One day when the boy was in high school, he came home and sat with his dad and said, "Dad, I want to join the Army." Dad just shook his head. "I don't think so, son. I want you to go to college. You're very bright. You're very talented." "But Dad, you can't afford to send me to college." "Look, son, if I have to take on an extra job, I'll get the money for your tuition." "But Dad, you're already working 2 and 3 jobs." "Please, Dad, would you sign my papers?" And the dad relented. And between his junior and senior years in high school, he left for Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, to do the first half of his basic training. At the end of his senior year, he sat down with Dad again. Hey, Dad, I want to get into the regular Army. The reserves is all right, but I want to serve. I really like this, and I want to serve my country. And off he went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, to become a 13F forward observer. From there, it was Fort Riley, Kansas. It was Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he became a paratrooper. And then 2 tours in South Korea, a tour in Bosnia, and then a plane hit the Twin Towers in New York City, and then a second one. And Dad sat with his hands over his eyes, knowing that his boy would be off to war. And so the young man went off to Afghanistan and fought hard and bravely and earned the Bronze Star and 5 Army Commendation Medals. And 4 Army Achievement Medals, all of which went into a drawer somewhere so no one would ever see them. The boy came home. And then was deployed again to Afghanistan. He had become an expert at his task. And at the whim of every commander in that country, he moved from place to place to place. He would call Dad once in a while and tell him, Dad, they got me moving all over the country. One day I'm in the east, the next day I'm in the north. I think, Dad, maybe I might like to get out. I'm tired. And the dad said, well, look, son, you've got 12 years in. You don't have far to go. And then on June 18th, in 2009, the phone rang early in the morning. And the dad picked up the phone. And he heard, hey, Pop, how you doing? Happy Father's Day. And the dad said, this is the most wonderful Father's Day I have ever received. And they talked. And the boy said, hey, Dad, I really got to go. We're leaving on a mission. Three days later, Dad was sitting on the sofa. He was watching America's Got Talent. It was 9:45 p.m. when the doorbell rang. Who the hell is that at my door at this time of night? Said the dad. He got up from the sofa and went to the door. And on the way, he could see the vehicle in the driveway. And he opened the door and he saw the men in their uniforms. And he said, "Not my son, not my boy." And he thought to himself, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing?